Well, guys, WiseEye went and did it again. Here's the standard. Here's everyone else. Here's their standard, and they just raised it even higher. Last year, they released their data cam. It was a mini on steroids. This is the mini. The only difference there was a lot of difference in the data cam, but physically, the only difference you really had was this was a single antenna. The data cam was a dual antenna. And man, that camera just absolutely rocked. I've actually got several of them out still running. Well, this is the new data cam. The DC-2 is what they're calling it. The DC-2 has a complete new face, looks like a whole totally different camera. We'll talk about the outside first, and then we'll dive into the nitty-gritty, the internal stuff. On the outside, as you can see, whole new look. The camo pattern's different. The camo pattern is what they call their feather pattern. I think, personally, it's a mix between Osseo camo and the mossy oak bottomland. You've got your hard up and down lines. Some of the feathering kind of looks like the Osseo. But it's a real good camo pattern. I really like it. Like I said, it's a whole new face. They have WiseEye, and it actually says DC-2 stamped in the front of the camera. I'll zoom in and see if you guys can actually see that. If not, it's right there. Buy you one, you can see it. The side of the camera, it's a little bit, I mean, it's thicker. It's physically a bigger camera than what the other data cam was. That's kind of your side-by-sides. But on this side of the camera, they integrated what they call a critter clip. And that is really, really handy. The critter clip is for power cables. You run an external power source, whether it be a battery, solar, whatever it may be, variation of both. But you can run the cord through here into the bottom. Here's your port. So that way the cord stays tight to the camera. So no more of the coons and squirrels and everything pulling the cord out, battery going dead, becoming unplugged. That's just a pain in the butt. They have fixed that by just changing a little bit of the molding in the plastic. Let's get inside the door here. So on the older styles, you were to open them up, your LCD screen, if this was mounted to the tree, your LCD screen would fold open like this, which was nice. I liked that myself. The only problem I had was that when you were trying to get a test picture, it was hard because you'd have to hold your finger on OK, spin it around, hit it like that. Well, this isn't facing the way it's going to be mounted on the tree. It was off. So it's really hard to tell your field of view. Now, the solution to that, which wasn't hard to do, was just get on your app, hit get a picture, and it would send you a picture instantly so you could see, adjust the camera from there, right there at the camera. Well, what they did on these is they actually moved the LCD screen and fixed it to the entire camera itself. So the only thing that swings out now is just this cover. Complete water seal all the way around it. So it is watertight. So now with the LCD screen being mounted on the camera, you can put it on the tree, move it, adjust it however you need to, and see it all right here. All the buttons, these are now a rubber as opposed to the hard plastic, which were on those. But it's still your same up, down, OK menu. You have an on-off setup button. Now, with doing that, fixing everything to the camera itself instead of the lid, we'll call it. When they're fixed to the lid, your batteries were all right here. Well, obviously, with this not hinging open, batteries can't be in the backside. So what did they do? There's an eject button there. You hit eject, bottom comes out, 12 AA batteries. Yes, that is a lot, guys. I do know that. However, if you're like most people, they run external power sources. They don't buy AA batteries anyways. Are they a good backup? Yes. But something WiseEye also did was they also created one of these that is a lithium battery pack. 5 amp hours, what I believe it is. You can buy it from their website. So instead of running AA's, you can run a rechargeable lithium battery. So it just goes in the bottom. Done. SIM card on the side. SD card. Your plug-in port if you need it. Now the SD card, let's talk about that. This camera has 32 gigs of data, or storage, 32 gigs of storage built into it. And it will also take up to a 128 gig card. That needs to be a Class 10 U3 card. But if you run both those together, guys, you're going to have 160 gigs of storage in this camera, which is just astronomical. The cool thing about that is, if the SD card is in it, it will save on the SD card first, and then it will save to the storage once the SD card is full. Something that's not talked about a whole lot, though, is SD card failures. We've all experienced them. We've all had them. The SD card is a very big part of a cellular camera. Takes a picture, stores on the SD card. From the SD card, it pulls it and sends it to Hunt Control or whatever app you're using or whatever brand it is. But that's the importance of it. So they get used a whole lot more. It's more than just a storage device, so to speak. So when that card fails, sometimes they don't send the pictures. And then you're like, oh, crap, camera quit working, piece of junk, blah, blah, blah. Well, it comes to find out the piece of crap about it is the $15 cheap card that you bought at Walmart is the failure of it. Well, now if that card were to fail, you still have 32 gigs of storage in the camera. So if it fails, it's going to start writing it in the camera and then use that. So it's a really safe backup, actually, is what that is. You don't even have to run an SD card in these if you don't want to. We will, just for the extra storage, and it will rewrite. So if it's all full, it'll delete the last picture, last video, replace it with the newest one. So that's really handy. Something we probably should have talked about on the outside, but I'm going to tie this all together right now, is they have changes to a multi-carrier network SIM card. Multi-carrier mean there's no more specifying AT&T or Verizon. This will work on any of the major networks out there. AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, US Cellular. There's more out there, and I'm not going to list every single one because there's actually ones in Canada and stuff like that that they pick up and work on. I don't know those, so I'm just not going to list them all. But with that, the thing one thing that means a lot to me, I have AT&T on my home property. I have great AT&T service when it works. When it works, I have full service. But you can guarantee it every couple months I'll go an extended amount of time without having cell phone service. Tower goes down. Something stupid happens. Well, I still have Verizon here at the house, but it's only like 1 or 2 bars, and AT&T's full service, like I said. So I put this camera out. It sets up, locks on AT&T. Well, then AT&T drops the ball or whatever may happen, and you lose AT&T service. This thing says, hey, I don't have AT&T service anymore. It goes right back to searching, and it'll search them. Okay, Verizon's the next highest. Boom, locks on Verizon, and my cell camera is back up and working. Excuse me. Or we have a lot of guys that, man, I don't know what service I have real great. I have okay service with AT&T. Well, because that's what my cell phone is. And then you ask them, well, what about Verizon? Well, I don't know. Well, now you just buy one camera and it picks the best service it has. And again, if that service drops out, it'll pick the next one up. With that, they've updated the antennas. The data cam had phenomenal antennas. Phenomenal. Rumor had it that NASA bought a case of those, sent them to the International Space System, and when the communications would go down back and forth, they'd just pull out a data cam. On a sheet of paper, they'd write down what they needed, hold it in front of the camera would take the picture, send it back. NASA would log on to Hunt Control, see what they needed, and they could fix the problem. They've strengthened the antennas in 2 ways. They have a better signal strength, and they are physically more durable, a tougher antenna than what the data cams had. And also, they're actually smaller, narrower here. The data cams, they were like boat oars. Good thing about those is if you were in a flood, you could break off them and use those as a paddle. So the multi-connectivity, improved antennas, guys, this is the Mercedes-Benz of cameras right now. You can get this in a no-glow model for another $20. Let's see, what else did they do inside? Action shot. I don't want to forget about the action shot. What you can do now is you can get on your Hunt Control app and you can hit action shot, or I forget the name of the button. I believe it says action shot. And it will turn this camera on and record for 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how you have it set, continuously in full HD, and it saves it to the camera. So you have a camera getting ready for your kill shot, whatever it may be. You're in the tree, the deer's walking down the trail, you have a camera set up, he's coming down, hit it on your phone. Now that's recording for 5 minutes. They say it's like having your own cameraman with you, which I agree. Or your it's at a feeder or on a scrape or whatever it may be, you can now command this camera to take a nonstop 5-minute video, which is cool. I really like that. This camera does have the built-in GPS, obviously. The burst mode, instead of having, it still has 1, 2, 5. You can choose how many burst pictures you get of that, but now you can change the interval of it. So you can have it sub 1 second. So a deer walks by and it'll go bam, 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 snapping pictures. Or you can set that interval to up to, I believe it's 3 seconds. So bam, 3 seconds later, bam, 3 seconds later, bam. Depending, play around with it. You can do what you want to with it. On the original Datacam last year's model, the IR and the detection range was 65 feet. This is 100 feet for the IR, 85 feet for the detection. I would argue that. I have plenty of pictures that deer are out a whole lot farther than that, and it's triggering them. The trigger speed, they improved a little bit. The trigger speed was 0.6 with the Datacam, now it's 0.35. This camera, WiseEye has it listed right now for $199.99 on their website. Again, the no glow version is a little more expensive. I think it's $219.99. But this is, guys, this camera is it's the real deal. Anything and everything you could want in a camera, you've got it right here. Again, you've got your, I believe these are 1/4 by 20. I could be wrong, but if you want to hook it on a fence post, however you want to, whatever clip you've got, you can screw it into tree stake up high. This camera's really going to rattle some chains, and I will say there is not another camera on the market. You know, one thing, guys, I will give WiseEye is when I started running these cameras years ago, nobody knew who WiseEye was, at least in southeastern Ohio. And I threw out the name, and a lot of people would kind of make fun. What's that? What's that? Who's that? Those are junk. Well, everyone that says they're junk, I've got them to try WiseEye now. And guess what? The cameras they were running are now in a trash can or sold, and they're all running WiseEye. I have never, ever had someone buy a WiseEye camera and run it and then say, no, I'm going to go back to what I was using. I have never had that happen. Never. And that just speaks volume for these cameras. Once you guys see the picture quality, image quality, video quality, it's phenomenal. And the people behind it too. The Monk family, they're just amazing people. So guys, if you're wanting to upgrade your Datacam to the DC-2 this year, I would absolutely do it. I think the extras that come with this are worth spending the extra money to upgrade. It's just, I'm really excited. I think WiseEye, like I said, they had the bar here and they just raised it even better. So I'm kind of excited to see in the future what they're even going to do to make this even better. But only time will tell. Well, guys, I hope that was a decent explanation of the WiseEye DC-2 new for 2024. Thanks, guys.